Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 192 based on novel. So let's start. The Sun family had very deep roots in vast water city and had long since tracked down where Wang Lin and his son were at. At this moment, a guide quickly led Sun Chiming there. Family head, that person is too arrogant, saying something like, just this once. To think someone would dare to say that to the Sun family, the elder in green began to speak, but Sun Chiming frowned and shouted, shut up. The green-robed elder trembled and immediately shut up. A small matter like this and all of you made a big fuss about this. This person was already lenient, but you are all ungrateful. Sun Chiming's expression was gloomy as he coldly looked at everyone. Sun Chiming said, in a serious tone, the Sun family is large and is number 1 in planet Renyun. However, all of this was obtained at a miserable price. If you all remain like this, then one day you will bring a big enemy upon the Sun family. Grandpa Sun, your Sun family has the protection of that senior. Even if the enemy is strong, I fear they won't dare to provoke you. The person who spoke wasn't a member of the Sun family but the purple-robed youth who clashed with Wang Ping. Sun Chiming's eyes fell on the young man and he calmly said, little boy from the Yun family, this matter started because of you. Prepare yourself, for this matter might not be so easily handled. This purple-robed young man was named Yun Wufeng. He was a member of the Yun family from planet Cloud Sea. Planet Cloud Sea was one of the main planets of the northern part of the All-Heaven star system. This person's talent was too poor to cultivate, so he was considered an external family member. He came here with the Yun family's caravan, but because of Qing Yi, he didn't go back with the caravan and remained here. For ordinary cultivation families, before one's cultivation reaches the soul transformation stage, they can't leave the planet. However, for a big family like the Yun family, they had ways of bringing people below the soul transformation stage out of their planet. Due to his bad talent, he wasn't nurtured by the Yun family. However, here on Plant Renyun, just based on his identity, all of the cultivation families were extremely polite to him. After all, the Yun family was the number 1 family on planet Cloud Sea and was even more powerful than the Horn family. Yun Wufeng coldly snorted in his heart. Although he didn't have any cultivation, as long as he was in the northern part of the All-Heaven star system, no one would dare to provoke him, as doing so meant making an enemy out of the Yun family. After incoming to the northern part of vast water city, Sun Chiming and everyone following him stopped 100 feet from the Wang mansion. Sun Chiming's expression was gloomy. When he saw the 2 words, Wang mansion, he frowned. Named Wang, when he entered vast water city, he scanned it with his divine sense and found nothing wrong. He had just scanned this place once more and it was the same. After pondering a bit, Sun Chiming stepped forward and loudly said, the Sun family's Sun Chiming greets fellow cultivator. This voice contained celestial spiritual energy, so it clearly entered the ears of every single person inside the mansion. Shortly after, a small fellow came out. He looked at the Sun family and said, Master ordered you all to leave. Before Sun Chiming could speak, someone from the Sun family began to sneer. The person who sneered was the red-faced elder. He didn't even look at the little fellow and coldly said, what a big attitude. Do you really think my Sun family is blind? With that, he stepped forward and charged directly toward the mansion. Sun Chiming frowned hard as he stared at the words, Wang Mansion. He was about to stop the old man but then paused. The red-faced elder was at the soul formation stage. He closed in with 1 step and stepped directly through the door. However, just as his right foot landed, his face turned deathly pale. It was as if there was an invisible force coming from his mansion. It made his mind tremble and he coughed out a mouthful of blood. He staggered back several steps with his face pale and eyes filled with aghast. Sun Chiming's expression changed greatly. At that moment, he felt the aura of an ascendant cultivator. What shook him the most was that he was familiar with his aura. Almost without any hesitation, Sun Chiming quickly grabbed the red-faced elder and threw him backward. He respectfully clasped his hands and said, sorry for disturbing Senior's cultivation. Junior will leave now. With that, he waved his sleeves and suddenly disappeared along with all the Sun family members. When they reappeared, they were inside the main hall of the Sun family branch in Vast Water City. No Sun family member is allowed to go within 1,000 feet of that mansion. Anyone who disobeys will have their cultivation wasted and will be expelled from the Sun family. Even until now, Sun Chiming's heart was pounding and his forehead was covered in cold sweat. Only he has the cultivation to cause a core to crack with just one gaze. The Sun family members had never seen Sun Chiming like this. Also, Sun Chiming had taken them away so quickly that they couldn't help but tremble. The green-robed elder looked at the red-faced elder whose expression was ashen and whose nascent soul was about to collapse. The green-robed elder shivered and asked, "Family head, that? Who is that?" Sun Chiming coldly snorted and said, "You guys sure have guts to provoke him. You all should know that senior. Even if the old ancestor was here, he would have to be respectful. It was all because of this person that the Sun family has what we have today. Could it be? Could that person be?" The green-robed elder's heart trembled as he thought of a person. Sun Chiming stared at the old man and nodded. At this instant, everyone in the Sun family turned deathly pale. Just this once. This phrase emerged in their hearts. Even the purple-robed young man seemed to have realized something. He thought for a moment and then his expression became extremely ugly. He clearly remembered that when he told the elder in charge of the caravan that he wanted to stay, the elder told him that he must never provoke one person on planet Renyun. That person was Shu Mu, who had swept through the Huan family and made the Qian and Shu families not dare to intervene at all. The name, Shu Mu, had spread across the entire northern region of the All-Heaven Star system in the past 30 years or so. After all, the battle at the Huan family was too shocking. It could even be said that countless cultivators felt that the battle was too terrifying. While feeling terrible, Yun Wufeng returned to his room in the Sun family's house. Qingyi was sitting in his room with a pale expression. Her cultivation was sealed, so she was like a mortal. After being driven out of the Sun family, she was caught and brought here. In the Sun family, there would naturally be people who were willing to suck up to the Yun family. After Yun Wufeng returned to his room, he had no mind to bother with Qingyi. He stared at the candle and his heart was filled with regret. Qingyi stared at Yun Wufeng. Her eyes were cold. "It was all because of you. If not for you, I wouldn't have provoked that Shu Mu's son. It was all because of you." Yun Wufeng suddenly turned his head and stared at Qingyi. Qingyi didn't speak, but her eyes were cold. However, the next instant, her eyes jerked wide open as she stared behind Yun Wufeng and revealed a look of disbelief. Yun Wufeng was startled. Just as he turned around, his vision turned black and he fell to the ground. Qingyi quickly got up and respectfully said, "Senior." Wang Lin stepped out from the shadows and sat down. He held a jug of wine and drank a mouthful before he slowly said, "Your talent is pretty good. Spend a lifetime with Wang Ping and I'll gift you nascent soul cultivation." Qingyi trembled as Wang Ping's image appeared in her mind. Her face turned red and lightly nodded. 3 days later, Wang Ping left, and Qingyi followed beside him. Wang Ping left Vast Water City with his ideals. He was not willing to live a peaceful life, he wanted excitement. Wang Lin stayed here by himself. On the night Wang Ping left, he drank a lot. Originally, thanks to his cultivation, he wouldn't be drunk, but he was drunk that night. This was the first time he had gotten drunk in more than 800 years. For the first time, without him using any spells, he looked even older. Life continued and time slowly passed. The irreversible reincarnation cycle continued and 3 years passed in the blink of an eye. During these 3 years, Wang Lin had heard nothing from Wang Ping, and he didn't deliberately search with his divine sense. Since he gave Wang Ping freedom and choice, he wouldn't stop Wang Ping. During these 3 years, a sect appeared in the northern part of planet Renyun. This sect was named the School of Heaven. This sect only had mortals and didn't affect cultivators. The development of the School of Heaven was extremely fast. It gradually spread from the northern part of planet Renyun like a wildfire and grew even fiercer. Rumors spread out like snowflakes that gradually fell. The rumors said that the leader of the School of Heaven was an immortal and that there was always a woman beside him. Time swept by and another 7 years passed. Wang Lin now looked even older. The development of the School of Heaven was like a rolling snowball, it continued to grow stronger. There were even representatives of the school in Vast Water City. During autumn of this year, the autumn wind blew by as Wang Lin walked out of his house like usual to the not far away inn and quietly drank. His eyes were foggy, as if he couldn't see anything. He just silently stared outside the window as if he was waiting for something. The waiter in the inn had long grown accustomed to this old man. After bringing wine and food, he went to serve the other customers. As midday arrived, more and more people arrived in the inn. Bursts of noise echoed in the inn, it was rather lively. Have you heard that the School of Heaven now occupies a majority of planet Renegade, becoming the #1 sect in the 3 empires? Even our Vast Water City has a branch of the School of Heaven. I even went to see it a few days ago. My neighbor, Zhong is a member of the School of Heaven. They even hand out grain every month. The 3 big empires are Da Qin, Di Shan, and Chen Yun. It was said that in the Northern Empire, Di Shan, almost all of their citizens accepted the teachings of the School of Heaven. With how the School of Heaven is developing, it won't be long before the 3 big empire act and destroy it. Not so, this School of Heaven has already developed for 10 years. If they wanted to destroy it, they would have already acted. I'm more interested in the relationship between the leader of the School of Heaven and the woman that always follow him. Wang Lin calmly drank his wine. It was as if everything he heard had nothing to do with him. His gaze fell into the distance. It was as if he could penetrate into the distance and see Wang Ping, who was middle-aged but still filled with spirit, northern part of planet Renegade, the capital of the Di Shan Empire. A person was sitting inside an extremely luxurious palace. This person was almost 40 years old with a slight bit of white hair. Under his sword-like eyebrows was a pair of eyes that were like the stars. This person was very handsome, and his green robe made him look very luxurious and gave him an aura of majesty. There was a map spread out on the table before him. He pondered as he looked at the map. After a long time, he withdrew his gaze. It was now late at night and the moonlight was covering the ground. As the person silently pondered, he stood up and walked out of the palace. He stared at the earth covered in moonlight and gently sighed. I wonder if Father is also watching this world right now. A cotton velvet cloak was put on the man from behind him. He raised his hands to hold it over his shoulder and smiled. Still haven't gone to sleep? A woman appeared behind the man. This woman was very beautiful, and although she had aged, she didn't look old. Instead, she gave off a mature aura. The woman's eyes revealed tenderness as she looked at the man and softly said, "The night wind is cold, rest early." The man grabbed the woman's hand as he looked up at the moon in the sky and slowly said, "Qing Yi, what do you think our dad is doing right now?" Qing Yi's face turned red. She had accompanied this man for many years and even told him about her agreement with his father. The time they spent together had caused their feelings to grow, but at this moment, her face still turned red like a little girl's. Qing Yi softly said, "It should be your dad." The man held onto Qing Yi's hand and laughed. "My father is your father." Qing Yi's heart felt sweet. She followed the man's gaze toward the moon and softly said, "Dad should be resting." The man's eyes revealed a strange light and he shook his head. "I can feel that Father is watching me right now." In the Wang mansion in Vast Water City, Wang Lin withdrew his gaze from the distance. He was sitting in the courtyard under a tree accompanied by the autumn wind and listening to the leaves rustling. Sometimes 1 or 2 leaves would fall and drift before his eyes. Falling leaves will all eventually return to the roots of the tree. They were like children who would leave when tired but would always return to their loved ones. Time seemed to silently flow by as the leaves fell. Time began moving, and in the blink of an eye, another 5 years passed. The School of Heaven was extremely large and had enveloped the 3 empires, and it was still spreading all over planet Renegade. If the peace remained, it would have been fine, but 3 years ago, there was a sudden change in the Di Shan Empire. They began to crack down on the School of Heaven and even sent out large amount of troops to wipe them out. This sudden change was like adding water into hot oil. This change caused the mortal world to go into chaos and caused a great uproar. The School of Heaven's reaction was extremely fierce. In just half a month, they were able to gain control of the military in the Di Shan Empire without any bloodshed. 6 or 7 out of every 10 people in the Di Shan Empire were followers of the School of Heaven. Taking less than a month to beat an empire was like a spring thunder that exploded in everyone's hearts. No one was prepared for it, and they were shaken to their souls. The Di Qin Empire and the Chen Yun Empire didn't recklessly move. They sent out messengers to the School of Heaven to sign an agreement to not invade each other. The Di Shan Empire no longer existed and was replaced by a giant empire called the Heaven Empire. In the Heaven Empire's capital, Wang Ping was wearing the dragon robe while standing high above, looking down at the world. Beside him, Qing Yi silently accompanied him. The officials of the Heaven Empire looked up at their new emperor. They could never see through this person. It was as if nothing in this world had any value to him. It was as if even him standing here today was just him trying to prove something to someone. Wang Ping's eyes swept past the world beneath him and looked into the distance. The matter with the Di Shan Empire attracted the attention of the cultivators on planet Ren Yun, and they showed signs of interfering. Wang Lin's life was still as calm as water without any ripples, and his face was growing even older. This year was the 5th year since the Heaven Empire was established. The Di Qin Empire and the Chen Yun Empire broke their agreement and launched their attack on the Heaven Empire. Wang Lin didn't pay any attention to any of these. He sat in the inn all day, listening to people talking about the rumors of the 3 empires. He just silently drank and never said a word. The waiter from back then had borrowed some money from his relatives and bought this inn, so he was now the shopkeeper. The new waiter was also very familiar with Wang Lin. Upon seeing Wang Lin arrive, he quickly brought the wine and food that he brought every time. The waiter was very kind. After putting down the food and wine, he caringly said, "You are getting old. It is best to drink less." Wang Lin smiled and nodded. "Today I'll drink only 1 jug." The waiter smiled and went to greet other customers. When he had spare time, he leaned against the counter by the door, looking at Wang Lin, and sighed. This elder Wang is a man with a bitter life. He's this old and has no children to accompany him. The cashier behind the counter lifted his hand off the abacus and shook his head. "I heard from a servant girl from their mansion that he had a son. However, the son left home many years ago and never came back." Wang Lin held the wine jug and took a drink. His gaze fell outside the window and he sat there for a whole day. At dusk, the old servants came to the inn. They thought that their master was getting old. When he didn't drink, it was fine, but after drinking, there should be someone with him. Otherwise, they feared he would fall and hurt himself. Wang Lin and the old servants walked under the gradually rising moonlight as they returned home. The empty large house was dim without any light. After telling the old servants to leave, Wang Lin sat down in the courtyard and looked up at the sky as he muttered, "Time passed very quickly. Pinger is already 47 years old. Perhaps he has found some clues himself." The battle between the 3 empires slowly unfolded, but with the interference of cultivators, there were many unexpected turns of events. However, this all changed when the emperor of the Heaven Empire personally took charge. No matter what cultivation level the cultivators were at, they would all retreat before him. Slowly, all of the interfering cultivators withdrew from the mortal world. Aside from Wang Ping showing up, another big reason was that the Sun, Ran, and Zhao families had given their orders. Wang Ping was sitting in the head position inside a golden tent in the army's camp. After waving away a few courtiers, he walked out of the tent. His eyes passed several of the passing soldiers before looking at Quillian Mountain in the distance. Wang Ping's face looked slightly older, and the hair around his temples was completely white. After becoming a supreme ruler among mortals, there wasn't much happiness in his life. All of the things he had to worry about made his heart feel fatigue. He suddenly missed the 19 years of his childhood and everything he experienced in the village when he was a boy. While he was looking at the Quillian mountain, pondering, Qingyi walked out from the tent. She stood next to Wang Ping and softly said, "You said that was where you grew up. Do you want to go see it?" Qingyi's appearance also revealed trace of time as she gently looked at Wang Ping. Wang Ping sighed and said, "Let's go see." A par of sergeants followed as Wang Ping and Qingyi walked toward Quillian Mountain. Wang Ping looked at the surroundings. The unfamiliar surroundings gave him a sense of familiarity. The smoke in the distance gradually became clearer, then the fallen moon village appeared in his sight. As soon as they got near, maybe because of the soldiers, fierce barking came from the village. During these chaotic times, the villagers of Fallen Moon Village were all vigilant. Now that they heard the dogs barking, they immediately got up and took their farming tools and torches outside. They saw that not far away were soldiers in full armor and a man and a woman wearing civilian clothes. Facing the hostile gazes of the villagers, Wang Ping didn't say a word. He stared at the villagers, but in the end wasn't able to recognize a single one of them. His face revealed bitterness. Time was like song, and in a flash many years had passed. He wasn't able to recognize the people he was familiar with back then, because their changes were too great. Moreover, nearly 30 years had passed. He didn't know how many had stepped into the reincarnation cycle and were no longer here. "Let's go to the back mountain. Grandpa's son is buried there." Qingyi let out a sigh and walked forward with Wang Ping. The villagers before them hesitated before slowly spreading out and making a path. Just at this moment, a weak voice filled with uncertainty came. "Wang Ping." Wang Ping stopped, then he turned around and his gaze fell on a villager. It was a woman who looked about 40 years old. The woman appeared to be slightly old, but in Wang Ping's eyes, he seemed to see the girl who said, "I hate you." At this very moment near the distant planet Yunxia, greed was moving like a meteor. He looked at planet Yunxia as he sniffed and his eyes revealed a strange light. "Just as I entered the northern domain, I had a hunch that there was treasure here and followed its aura. The smell led me here. There is no mistake, the dense fog is clearly covering up the treasure's light. However, this planet looks a bit strange." Greed stared at planet Yunxia for a bit. After hesitating for a moment, he flew toward it. In his whole life, he had never been to any place without treasure. He had a terrifying intuition about where treasures lied. As he closed in, his heart beat wildly and his eyes glowed even brighter. "I only had this feeling when I got that giant furnace. Could this place have a treasure comparable to that giant furnace?" Greed's eyes were filled with excitement. At this moment, he completely forgot about Wang Lin and the restrictions placed on him. He clenched his teeth as he slapped his bag of holding and the giant furnace appeared before him. While using it to clear a path, Greed followed and slowly disappeared inside the fog. "This old man has to see what kind of treasure this is." Greed licked his lips. The middle-aged woman whispered, "Wang Ping. It is you." Wang Ping walked up to the woman, looking at her face that no longer had the youth she had before, and smiled. "Zhu Ruotong." The middle-aged woman bit her lower lip and stared at Wang Ping. After a long time, she revealed a graceful smile and softly said, "I recognized you the moment I saw you. After this many years, you still came back." Wang Ping felt melancholy as he watched the woman before him. There was also a girl about 10 years old beside her. This little girl's looked a lot like Zhu Ruotong. Wang Ping asked, "Is this your daughter?" The woman nodded. She turned toward the girl and said, "Call him Uncle. He was your mother's childhood friend." The girl seemed a bit shy. She stood behind her mother and whispered, "Uncle." At this moment, some of people among the villagers also recognized Wang Ping. However, when they looked at the armored soldiers, they were afraid to greet him. Wang Ping smiled at the girl and asked, "What is your name?" The girl hid behind her mother and didn't speak. Her eyes were filled with fear. Wang Ping sighed as he looked at the woman and said, "I'm going to the back mountain to pay respects to Grandpa's son." The woman smiled. From beginning to end, she didn't look at Qingyi, who was next to Wang Ping. She pulled her child to stand next to her husband. Her husband was a brawny man and had obviously inherited his father-in-law's ability to hunt. However, if Wang Ping looked closely, he would find that this man wasn't a stranger. Wang Ping turned around and walked toward the back mountain. Before following Wang Ping, Qingyi thoughtfully looked at the woman that was rubbing her daughter's head. Just after Wang Ping walked several steps, the little girl hiding behind her mother exposed her head and shouted, "Uncle, my name is Xu Nianping." Her name is literally remember Ping. Xu is the family name, but her name is Nianping. Nian means to remember and Ping refers to Wang Ping. Nianping. Nianping. Wang Ping's footsteps stopped and he let out a sigh. He didn't turn around and continued walking away. It wasn't until they had left that all the villagers dispersed. The strong man next to the woman let out a sigh and softly said, "Why did you do this?" "Brother, don't talk about this anymore." Zhu Ruotong looked up with a smile. Her smile was very beautiful and it revealed a joyous expression. "I'm content in being able to see him again." There were no weeds around Sun Tai's grave. It was clear that someone had been cleaning it. Wang Ping stood before the tomb for a long time before he silently left. Wang Ping whispered, "Qingyi, I think I'll visit my father soon. I haven't seen him in almost 20 years." Qingyi didn't speak and only silently followed Wang Ping. No matter where Wang Ping wanted to go, even the underworld, she would follow him. This had nothing to do with her agreement, she willingly accompanied him. "There are some matters I need to ask him about." Wang Ping looked at the fallen moon village one more time and left. In Vast Water City, Wang Lin hadn't gone to the inn in a long time. He just sat inside the courtyard all day. He was waiting for Wang Ping's return. The falling leaves need to return to their roots. A wandering child will also one day return to their loved ones. 3 months later, Vast Water City was filled with turmoil and chaos. Most of the servants in the mansion had all left. Only one old servant who had no place to go chose to stay. The entire Vast Water City was almost empty as everyone fled from the war. Although there were no civilian casualties where the Heaven Empire's army went, panic still spread. Vast Water City was occupied by the Heaven Empire, and the army continued to push forward. Wang Ping was standing outside the city. He didn't enter but left with the army. "Father, the current me still hasn't completed my wish. Once I finish, I'll come to see you." The wheel of time continued to turn as spring, summer, autumn, and winter changed several times. In a flash, another 5 years passed. Wang Ping was 52 years old. The Qin Empire and the Chen Yu Empire surrendered one after the other. Then the Heaven Empire became the only empire on planet Ranyun. When he left home, he was 27 years old. It took 25 years for Wang Ping to obtain everything he wanted. Even though many things that he wasn't aware of had happened for all of this to come true, since Wang Lin had said yes to his request, none of it was surprising. Sometimes he felt like time went by too quickly. After conquering the world, Wang Ping didn't immediately come to see Wang Lin. Instead, he calmly looked at the mountains and rivers he owned and felt the might of the world. Wang Lin still sat in the courtyard every morning, accompanied by the old servant and living his ordinary life. During these 50-plus years, his heart was gradually evolving. 10 years passed by quietly without any waves being set off. The 62-year-old Wang Ping looked quite old. These 10 years of being a supreme leader made his heart feel even more tired. This made him miss his childhood and the 8 years of traveling through the world. What he missed the most was the feeling of his father accompanying him for those 27 years. Qingyi had turned into an old woman and wrinkles had appeared on her face. However, her gaze was even more tender than before. Despite the fact that they never had a child in all these years. On this day, it was the 35th year since Wang Ping had left his father. The leaves flying in the wind revealed a hint of the autumn coldness. Wang Ping stepped down from his position as supreme leader of the mortal world. Before leaving, he gave the world he had conquered to an official that had followed him the entire time. What he took with him, aside from the 35 years of memories, was Qingyi. After getting on a carriage, he slowly headed toward his father. As the carriage moved along the official road, The leaves on the side of the road accompanied them. The leaves swayed back and forth along with the wind before falling to the ground. The falling leaves will always end up back at their tree's roots, just like a wandering child will also return to their loved ones. Just like the distance between the leaves and the earth, vast water city was getting closer and closer. Wang Lin was currently sitting inside the courtyard. His only old servant had died 3 years ago, so now he was the only person remaining in this large house. There was a table before him with 2 extra chairs. There were a few dishes on the table, a pot of wine, and 3 pairs of chopsticks. The dishes still gave off hot steam and bursts of fragrance were coming from them. When the wind blew by, their fragrance was scattered outside the mansion. A rush of horse hooves came from the distance, followed by the sound of wheels rolling on the ground. This sound grew louder and louder until it stopped outside the mansion. Wang Ping walked down from the carriage and smiled at Qing Yi as he helped her down, then they walked through the door. The green and red plaque with the words, Wang Mansion, looked like it had been through the passage of time. The green was faded and the red exposed white marks. Wang Lin raised his head. He seemed to have waited 35 years to do this. He revealed a kind smile and said, "Come and sit down, the dishes are still hot." The simple words revealed a calm warmth. There was no inquiry, no doubt, no politeness. It was as if Wang Ping often came back. Wang Lin's eyes revealed a tender gaze. Wang Ping stared at this father. It had been 35 years. After he left, he hadn't even seen his father once. If he had, it was only in his dreams. "Dad," Wang Ping knelt on the ground, and 2 streams of tears rolled down from his eyes. Qing Yi also knelt down beside Wang Lin and softly said, "Dad." Wang Lin stood up, helped Wang Ping and Qing Yi up, and said, "Let's eat." This meal lasted a long time. A long-lost warmth appeared in Wang Ping's heart. He had been separated from this feeling for 35 years. During the 35 years Qing Yi had accompanied Wang Ping, she had long since identified Wang Lin. She knew he was Xu Mu, the senior back then that slaughtered his way to Planet Thousand Illusion by himself and shocked the entire northern domain. After all, Yun Wufeng had mentioned the words, Xu Mu, back then. Even now, she still couldn't believe it. It was impossible to think that this kind old man was Xu Mu, the one who once shook the entire northern domain. Qing Yi didn't tell Wang Ping the legends regarding Xu Mu. After all of this happened before she was even born. Everything was just rumors, so she had no right to tell him. It wasn't until the moonlight gradually grew bright and the autumn wind swept by that Wang Ping put down his chopsticks and looked at this father. He had 1,000 words to say, but at this moment, he couldn't say any of them. Wang Lin looked at Wang Ping and slowly said, "Ping, what do you want to ask?" "Dad, I want to know about my mother." It had been more than 60 years since Wang Ping first asked this. He remembered that he had only asked his once, and he saw how crestfallen his father was that time. This was the second time he asked. Wang Lin silently pondered. After a long time, his eyes revealed a hint of reminiscence. Looking up at the bright stars in the sky, he softly said, "I'll tell you a story. Far away from here, there is a cultivation planet called Suzaku." Wang Lin's voice revealed a thick sense of vicissitude. From his mouth, he slowly told the story of a youth named Wang Lin and his nearly 900 years of life. From when he entered the cultivation world, the Hangyu sect, the Qiandao sect. The story of Wang Lin's life gradually opened like a scroll before Wang Ping and Qing Yi. The story was long, very long. However, those who heard the story could feel an unspeakable and strange aura that caused the heart of anyone who heard this story to tremble. Wang Ping stared at his father as he listened to the story. Beside him, Qing Yi's eyes were wide open as she listened to the story. She couldn't help but be immersed in it, even though she knew that the protagonist was Wang Ping's father, the old man before them. That female cultivator was named Liu Mai. This video will end here.